Okay, Germán, so we're going to do one of the Gaetano Nava exercises. This is number 23, 6 notes on air, which you're very familiar with, and we'll just run through it because it covers, this particular exercise covers the range of the Verdi Baritone. So the Verdi Baritone will sit sort of, I don't know, A flat to F there, that's your zone, that's where all the great music is, and then you go higher than that occasionally and lower. But this takes in the entire range from a low B flat up to top G, but it's incremental, and so we'll just give it a go and see what comes out in the wash. I smile because you sing this exercise like a Verdi cantilena. You give it the shape, and as the phrase climaxes to the high note, it's broadening and lingering, and that's what makes it wonderful. Of course, that's how Verdi wrote, the absolute master of the voice as far as I'm concerned. I don't think any composer understood the voice as well as he did, and he took it a little bit further than Donizetti and Bellini. He stretched it, but in a healthy way. He took it that little bit further, but it was doable. He developed it, and I think the Verdi baritone, the Verdi mezzo, the Verdi tenor, I mean, all of them. He just understood each voice so well and wrote this wonderful music that exploited all the glories of each particular voice type. But the Verdi baritone is a particular animal. I recall the first time we met, which is about 5 years ago now, if not more, and as soon as I heard you, I thought, yeah, this is it. This is the Verdi baritone I've been looking for, and you certainly came up with the goods for that. So that top G that you just sang in this exercise came out effortlessly, but it had the thrill and excitement, which is what the Verdi singers is all about. You've got to know what you're doing. He was a master, but you need to be completely on top of your game to get from the beginning of a roll to the end of a roll and still feel you could have a cup of tea and do the same thing again. So very good. The usefulness of these exercises by Gaetano Nava, who was a very distinguished singing teacher, a contemporary of Garcia, the great Manuel Garcia, but unlike Garcia, who taught in Paris and London, and wrote books and various articles, Nava just quietly chipped away at the Milan Conservatoire, but he did write these very, very clever exercises, which I find are extremely useful for just enabling the voice to develop of its own accord without having to worry about the soft palate or worry about the breath control. If you just keep doing these exercises, they have a tendency to make things fall into place, and your voice develops in a very natural, slow but sure way. Right, so that was chosen really because it was sort of like a Verdi aria in exercise form, so all is fine there. But I think you like these exercises, don't you?
I do. I think it's a very good stretch, if you want, of the voice, no?
Yeah.
as always, I say this is like going to the source, going to the pure sound, and helping you to understand from where you start, whatever you do as an art. It's like tuning the instrument, very clean, in a very clean way, maybe.
I think it's always good to come back to exercising because, like any of us who use an elevated physiological action, whether you're a runner, whether you're a ballet dancer, or whether you're a singer, that instrument needs to be kept in very good condition. And all of these sports people spend most of the time rather like an iceberg. You see the tip when they go and play a Grand Slam at Wimbledon or Paris or play in Premier League football or whatever it is. It's all the stuff, all the work behind the scenes that goes to enable this glory. And
I think it's like an artisan, it's like you preparing the colors or the things that you will use to create something. And it's really the first step of your day. You start with this. You start with not only, as Pavarotti say, checking that the voice was there, but also making it. It's like really creating your instrument for the rest of the rehearsals probably that you will have, or the shows that you will have in the day. But it's for me, it's also like a meditation, where I just connect with my voice, even if that sounds a bit. I think it's about that. It's about connecting with the breathing, with the voice. If something is not well that day because you are tired, as I am a little bit today, or because you've been through a week of a lot of different styles of music and singing 2 or 3 different roles, it helps you to set up something that is clear of all the characters that you may go through in a rehearsal or in a show or in a performance. It's something that is that's why I mean when I say pure, it's not something related to an emotion or to a character or to a philosophy, but it's just a color, a pure color, that then you will maybe use or not, in your music.
And I think if you keep going back to those basics, then you can ensure that the instrument is in peak condition, very healthy. And then when you go and perform, then you can spread the boundaries a little bit. You can take the occasional risk, but because of the discipline of what you do before you go out and sing these big roles.
I think that, and you agree with me, that when a technique is there, I think we can forget about this when we go to performance, and that's why we take the moment on the day, or to sit down and to do it, because then you don't want to think about that when you are in the middle of a character, of a role, because that's something that you have to already incorporate it before, something that is have to be with you, I think.
And I think as you're a rather specialist, and to be a Verdi baritone, you need to be fit, you need to be vocally fit, and you've had a Verdi year, haven't you? You've done concerts and performances and recording of Boccanegra, you've done a Rigoletto, you've done Ballo in Maschera, and you're about to do Rodrigo, and then Je Mon Père coming up. It is a Verdi year.
It's a Verdi year.
You need to be in peak vocal physical strength.
And also they are. The more I walk into the roles and get to know also other colleagues that works, purely singing Rigolettos or Ballo, or a lot of people say, there is some roles like Rigoletto that you cannot sing if you are sick, or if you have a little something going on in your instrument. And sometimes you don't realize that you where is the limit if you don't really do this type of exercise. You know what I mean? Because you may feel that day that you are very energetic and you are really, really happy with your body and with your speaking voice. But then the middle of you start to sing, maybe there is something that is not immediately there. So either these exercises will help you to get there, or will help you to understand, okay, today I may not sing at my fullest, so I have to maybe, you know, give a little bit more here, a little bit less here, because this is what I have today as an instrument, and we are humans. So for some reason that we may not know, humidity, pressure, blood pressure, I don't know, a lot of things.
Yeah, bad night's sleep, you know, indigestion, all of these things affect
allergies, winter, summer, or maybe, you know, few days that you've been working very hard in another things, or traveling, or you had a bad travel or something. Then probably you have to really know inside out what's going on with your instrument at that point, you know. And I think for me this is what means this exercise on the everyday of a professional, no? As a student, it's a learning process. It's something that always help you to get there in good health. And as a professional, I think it's also a checkpoint, you know. It's like everything is there, and if it's not, this could help you to put it there, you know, to get there.
Thank you for saying all of that, because you know, I am a little bit of a zealot flying my flag. That it's important to do exercises, but you know, coming from somebody who has a busy schedule as you do, singing these big roles all of a sudden, then coming back to basics is a good thing. However, I just want to do the final phrase again, and I want you to put a fermata on the top G. Enjoy yourself a little bit more. Give them all an idea of what a good top G should sound like. Well, that's put colour in your cheeks. I wasn't expecting a diminuendo as well. So,
well,
bravo. But you will need your diminuendos for Verdi, so fantastic singing. Thank you.
You're welcome.